Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli back with another review video, and yes, you read the title of what I'm reviewing. I'm of course reviewing another one of Don Bluth's animation pieces, Rock-A-Doodle. Yes, and of course in celebration of its anniversary, yep, because why not? So yeah, Rock-A-Doodle, it honestly, because and as I record this, I watched it not too long ago, and I thought it was okay. Like, I had no problems with this film, and boy, to me, it felt like it was going by. It was going by fast, I'm just saying. It was at that point with Rock-A-Doodle that animated films that Don Bluth were making were not doing so good. And as Nostalgia Critic said it best, in his review of Rock-A-Doodle, the good stuff seemed to end with All Dogs Go to Heaven, and the bad stuff seemed to begin with this, Rock-A-Doodle. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, I guess, but I don't know, I thought Rock-A-Doodle was okay. I'm sure that, Don and the gang, they tried their very best for this film. And as well as their as what would come next, for Don's animated films. So Rock-A-Doodle I thought was okay. Like, the story was fine, and not to mention that the idea of doing an animated feature, centered on the main character, of course, the rooster, Chanticleer, because it was like, it takes place way back in, like, say, the 30s, I want to say, and for many decades at Disney. Walt Disney had wanted to do a animated feature of Chanticleer, and, but eventually, up to that point, Walt chose doing The Sword in the Stone, and, not Chanticleer, what would have been an animated feature that would have had both Chanticleer and Reynard the Fox. And to this day, we have those concept drawings that Disney legend, and animator Mark Davis had designed and sketched for what would have been a Chanticleer / Reynard the Fox film. But yeah, so with Don and Gary Oldman and John Pomeroy, yeah, because when they did this movie, like, big changes for this, and especially not to mention that they had seen Roger Rabbit, and they had a new idea for the story, and they hired, and here's the thing, okay, I'm getting off track, because they have a new idea for the story where not only for it being animation, but live action to it as well, and a bit similar to The Wizard of Oz, like, the live action segments would be in black and white, and, of course, with the animation, it'd be in color. But that of course, did change, and they even hired a director named Victor French to direct the live action segments, but at some point, like, he got cancer or something, and terminal cancer, I don't know. And Don ended up directing both the live action and animation in the film. And apparently it dramatized Don, and he said that, animation was much easier for him, it was easy for him, and I can understand that. Besides, when you're so used to doing this, how can you, like, go from that to that, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, and with the cast of characters, as I said, Chanticleer, Chanticleer being voiced by, the late legend Glenn Campbell. Like, I remember, like, he had been a well-known full-time singer, and he was a bit of an actor as well. Like, most notably, he was best known for being in the original True Grit with John Wayne. Also, Eddie Deason, who voices a bird named Snipes. That typical character that Eddie Deason would play, who would be annoying or something. Yeah, just like, say, that annoying kid he played in The Polar Express. In fact, does every character that Eddie Deason plays, like, is almost made up to look like him? I want to say so. Even, like, say, Snipes the bird. Like, it almost, like, is a bird resemblance of Eddie. But anyways, and the late legendary Disney legend, I should say, Phil Harris, who voices Pac-2, the dog who's trying to tie his shoes. And fun fact, because this would be Phil Harris's last feature film that he would be, as he would pass away a couple years after Rock-A-Doodle's release. I believe was it 1994 when he passed away? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Also, you have Ellen Green as Goldie, Chanticleer's love interest, which, yeah, because Goldie, from what I remember, is like Goldie's supposed to be a cross between Tweety and the princess from Dragon's Lair. Bleh. What about, say, Jessica Rabbit? I don't know. Come on, like, it could be obvious. And we also have Sandy Duncan as Peepers. Peepers? Yeah, I think I said that right. Peepers, who is a mouse. So, and Chanticleer, like, when he crows, the sun comes up, but one time the sun didn't come up. Well, I mean, it did come up without Chanticleer, cock-a-doodling, cock-a-doo, and yeah. And he was humiliated by his gang, farm gang, and so Chanticleer left and went to the big city to find a job, and in the real world, we have Edmund, and also the mother, Dory, that's the mother's name, Dory, played by Dee Wallace, who best known for being the mother in E.T. the Extraterrestrial. God, it didn't look like Dee Wallace. Like, she looked different in this film from when she was in, say, in E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I'm just saying, her appearance. I don't know, but, anyways, and the other family members as well, and, also, the Grand Duke of Owls, voiced by the late, great, legendary actor Christopher Plummer, the Grand Duke of Owls, who's the main villain of this, and basically, like, the Grand Duke, like, causing Chanticleer to leave and, the farm, etc. That was all part of that was all Grand Duke of Owls. That was all part of his plan, and at one point, because, in the real world, a storm hits, arrives, and Edmund, shouting for Chanticleer, and suddenly the Grand Duke of Owls, like, shows up, and everything turns into animation, and Edmund turns into a furry cat, and no, he did not say, I'm a furry. He did not say that. He said, and if you have the subtitles on, he said, I'm all furry. I'm all furry. That's what he said. He didn't say, I'm a furry. No, that's not what he said. He said he's all furry. A furry cat, cat with fur. So, yeah. And Edmund meets with the other, like, animals, like Patu and Snipes and Peepers, and they all have to find Chanticleer and apologize to him and bring him back to the farm so the sun can come up again because of his crowing. And so, like, throughout the film, because they travel to the big city, and we see that Chanticleer is being an Elvis impersonator, basically. I mean, yeah, because he at one point, like, kind of put, like, black makeup or something on his hair, I want to say. And actually, because it's part of the Grand Duke of Owls, it's part of his plan. It's part of the Owl's plans. He's keeping Chanticleer there, and there was another character that was being Chanticleer's boss. Well, I really can't find that. Oh, well, never mind. But yeah, and even, like, say, a couple times when Patu's trying to tie his shoes, and, what you wearing shoes for? Edmund asks, and Patu's like, bunions. I got a load of bunions, and them shoes help my feet. And yeah, also Phil Harris also not only voiced Patu, but he was the narrator, which, coincidentally, the narrator is Patu. So, anyways, yeah, and there were some crazy things in the film that were just like, what? Just, like, at one point, like, something happens with Edmund. He starts, like, dreaming something, and, like flashbacks of what the character said to him, Furry Cat, and, even Patu said to Peepers, hey, lay off the boy, and, such a scaredy cat, as I think Peepers says as well. But, yeah, and of course, eventually, well, even, like, say, Goldie had to lie to Chanticleer, but but of course she does feel bad for Chanticleer, and Chanticleer, well, Goldie falls in love with Chanticleer, and, Chanticleer realizes that, that this was, like, all a trap or whatever it was, and thus, him and the others, like, they get back to the farm and, Chanticleer trying to sing and crow to get the sun to come back up, and the Grand Duke of Owls, they're defeated. And there were a couple of the other farm animals that remained behind, and in case the Grand Duke of Owls showed up again, they shined the flashlight at the owl, because that would scare off the owl. But of course, in the end, like, all things turn out good. There's a happy ending, and, Edmund, like, he wakes up, just very similar to, like, in The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy wakes up, But of course, the epilogue, and Edmund is hanging out with the farm animals again, in live-action form, and yeah, but with all that being said, Rock-A-Doodle I thought was okay. Like, sure, like, maybe it might not have done very good. Like, here's another thing. Even Dawn and the gang, their goal was to get good reviews from the critics. But that didn't work. That failed, obviously. They tried their best, I'm sure, but it didn't work, unfortunately. And if I recall, like, well, for a while, like, Dawn's animation studio was in, like, contract, or they were teamed up with, Goldcrest, and after Rock-A-Doodle, I think that was it for both Dawn's company and Goldcrest, so... And, okay, and also, how do I rate Rock-A-Doodle? That's a good question. You know what? Because I thought this was okay, I'll give this a 7 out of 10. Why not? 7 out of 10 stars for Rock-A-Doodle. I thought it was okay. And what about you guys? Have you seen Rock-A-Doodle? What do you think of Rock-A-Doodle? What you thought of my review? Leave comments and give this review a like, as always. And yeah. So with all that being said, again, 7 out of 10 stars for Rock-A-Doodle, and happy anniversary, happy 20th anniversary, I should say. No, 30th anniversary. Happy 30th anniversary to Rock-A-Doodle. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Rock-A-Doodle. More reviews coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And stay tuned later tonight for me and the return of Little Blue, because this was actually, I'll go ahead and say this. Fun fact, we actually filmed this a while back, and now it's finally being released, and it's going to come out later tonight, because continuing on reviewing the live action Marvel films. So the next Marvel film that me and Lil Blue are going to be reviewing, let's just say it has to do something with Ben Affleck. You might know what it is, so stay tuned for that. Take care, and peace out.